Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. Join your hosts, Grayson Jenkins and John Hammerly, as they dive deep into the world of football, along with a special focus on the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
Hey, here we go!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 4 of the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Today's going to be a quick episode. We're going to be breaking down NFL news that has happened since the last time we've spoken and our top 8 interior defensive linemen. So it's going to be a quick one. This episode was supposed to come out Monday morning. It's going to come to you Tuesday night. A little scheduling between me and Jenks didn't work out, but quick one. Let's hop right into it.
All right, guys, welcome back. Our first segment for today is going to be basically just going over the NFL news from the last couple of days since we last recorded on Thursday night. So John's going to start us off from yesterday's news.
So the big one, Lamar Jackson officially requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens. Seems like that relationship is ruined. Seems like he wants to get out of there. Some teams that we like: Falcons, Commanders, Colts. Those are the big ones. I know the Falcons and Colts at first kind of seemed out of it, and I think the Falcons are still out of it, but I wouldn't count them out. The Colts are a really interesting team because we don't know what they're going to do at that 4 spot, and maybe if the guy that they like doesn't fall to them, they could definitely make that move for Lamar Jackson. The Commanders are another QB needy team. It came out today that, if a QB falls to them or they're not ruling out taking a QB in the first round. So that's another contender. And 2 surprise teams that I wouldn't be shocked if they come into the runnings for Lamar Jackson: New England Patriots and the Minnesota Vikings. Surprise one. Watch out.
All right. I don't
Makes
know
sense.
where you're going with that one. How does that
make
make sense?
Because, like I said, the Vikings are sick and tired of Kirk Cousins. He's just decent. He's not going to get you anywhere. I feel like they've been wanting to get out of that relationship for a while now, but they just haven't due to their draft picks they've had over the past couple of years where they can't really make that move for a QB to be too big of a jump in the draft to go get one. So, I don't know. To me, it makes sense just because, I don't know. What's the end game with Kirk Cousins, right?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And I did see news that they're also trying to look at possibly Hendon Hooker in the second round, late first round if he falls to him. I think he could be a guy that backs him up if they don't want to get Lamar, trade away all the stuff. You get Hendon Hooker late first round, early second, have him back him up for a couple of years, year or two. That could work out. And then, you said, for the Colts, I think the Colts are really probably the number 1 spot for Lamar right now. Basically, they're at the 4 spot, but I see Anthony Richardson being the quarterback that's available there. Maybe Will Levis too, but that's not. Neither of those guys are franchise-changing guys. You know what I mean? I think if you get Lamar, you trade for Lamar, you get rid of that number 4 pick. It's not that big of a deal. You're getting a big star for your team with Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. That's a star-studded offense immediately. So I could see that happening.
Yeah, it would be a scary running attack. It's interesting, right? If they're not in love with the QB, if they're not in love with Anthony Richards or Will Levis at number 4, it's just like drafting one. Just go trade that pick and go get your franchise QB and Lamar Jackson. Exactly. So, and especially if they trade a pick like that, number 4, because, you saw the Russell Wilson deal last year. It's 3 first-rounders. You trade a pick like number 4, might only have to be 2. Maybe it's 1 in a couple seconds and a third. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different.
And basically, you're swapping Anthony Richardson to the Ravens, who already have a running quarterback with Lamar. So scheme, Anthony Richardson kind of fits right in there for. So I could see that happening. It definitely is a good trade target.
Mm-hmm.
So second topic from the last couple of days is D-Hop. So the Cardinals have actually officially let him start to talk to teams about possibly getting traded. Reaching out to them, trying to ask, hey, is this a good fit for me? Figure it out on his own, So the 3 teams that we picked for him are the Patriots, Bills, and the Chiefs. The 3 teams that are kind of the Patriots aren't so much a contender, but the Bills and the Chiefs are 100% contenders. They are every year. But actually today, just a few hours ago, Ian Rappaport went on the Pat McAfee show. He said how D-Hop could be a final piece of a championship team, and he saw that the Bills are possibly a number one spot for him. So I could see the Bills really trying to make that trade, especially if it's just a second or third round pick. I think it's going to be a third round because the second round's been available and no one's made that move. So if they can get him for a third round pick, I really see the Bills trying to do that because there's no reason for them not to, you know?
Third round pick for Hopkins would be a steal. Those three teams make a lot of sense. I bet a lot of people say, like, why Kansas City? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of out there. It's kind of like a new team, right? You know, they got Kelsey. They brought in a lot of receivers last year. No one's a number one like Hopkins, but
yeah, they lost Juju too. So I mean,
yeah, they brought in some guys, but yeah, Hopkins, the Chiefs, and Bills. Those are most likely just because, hey, you know, go play for that ring, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The Patriots, though, doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess if you want to stat pad and get the targets. And another team, too, like we said, was the Ravens.
Yeah.
But with Lamar requesting that trade,
they're
not going to make that move.
The only way I see them really ending up with the Patriots is if they end up trading for Lamar. Because I know, like, the whole thing was Meek Mill yesterday or whatever texted Robert Kraft and was like, oh, Lamar wants to go to the Patriots. That could be BS. Who knows? But that's the only way I see him trying to go end up there is if they get Lamar as well.
Yeah, but hey, it's in Hopkins. Hopkins, the ball is in his court, right? He's got permission to talk to the team, so basically he's a free agent. So I feel like he's going to go to a contender. Another receiver, that that signed. Panthers signed DJ Chark. This move was going to happen from the start.
Yeah, we both called it.
Yeah, it came out that the Panthers were targeting him and Adam Thielen. They land them both for their young QB, who was yet to be named. But it's
solid.
It's a good move. It's a 1 year, $5 million deal, kind of like a prove it deal. He's young, so it's an exciting move for Panther fans.
Yeah, I think it's solid, and it's two good receivers, but they're not stars by any means, but like they got solid weapons, so we'll see what they can do with their new quarterback.
Yeah.
The fourth big news topic from the last couple of days was Bobby Wagner signing with the Seahawks. Big news for Seahawks fans, but for the rest of the league, it's kind of just like it's just kind of significant, like just because it's he's reuniting with the Seahawks. But I mean, Bobby Wagner's on his last leg. This is a 1 year, $7 million deal they just signed, so it's kind of like I see it as it being final year with the team and retiring as his team with the team that he came in on. I could see him retiring after this year, especially if he plays well. He's getting old. I don't think he wants to end on a bad note, by any means. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, you started your career with Seattle, ended there. You know what I mean? They got something good going on. A young team, step in for a year, be a leader. Guide them. Makes a lot of sense. He's getting old. He's playing middle linebacker. He's not going to be in the league for too much longer, so it's a good deal. And an expected deal, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then, the latest on Aaron Rodgers. Woo! So,
your boy.
We talked about it, I think, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We talked about the Aaron Rodgers situation. Some more news came out because that's the annual NFL meeting where they discuss rule changes. Coaches, GMs all meet, got interviewed. So Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, came out, answering the questions about Aaron Rodgers as expected. And he said that it's tough to move forward and just see where you're going when he's not communicating. So it sounds like Aaron Rodgers ghosted the Packers over the offseason when Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show and said that the Packers ghosted him.
Yeah, trying to play victim and everything like that.
Someone's lying there. I mean, communication wasn't there from the start. And it's just like, this relationship has ran its course. It's over.
Yeah,
it's been over. It probably went a year longer than it should have. but it's wrecked. Just send him to New York. Some details have came out about the trade. There's some rumors that the foundation is kind of set in stone, and they're just talking about, Rodgers' contract, who's going to pay what. And I think the Jets are fighting to go get some 2024 later draft picks. But the base of the deal is Jets are going to send this year's second round pick and next year's second round pick for Rodgers. Next year's second round pick can become a first depending on how the Jets do this season. So 2 second round picks, maybe a 2 and a 1. Yeah, it's a good deal for Green Bay. But
yeah, at this point you just gotta get rid of him.
Yeah. But in my opinion too, I don't know. I feel like the Packers have the leverage. And I say that because if I'm Brian Gutekunst, I'm picking up the phone, I'm calling the Jets. I'm saying, this is Aaron Rodgers. This is the top 5 quarterback of all time, arguably the most talented quarterback of all time. And you're the New York Jets. You have been
have anything going for you over there.
You have been the laughing stock of the NFL for a very long time. This is Aaron Rodgers, and he said he wants to play for you guys, the New York Jets.
Yeah,
I would give up the house for him. Whatever Green Bay wants.
Change the fan base too.
Yeah,
fans would be
whatever.
happy.
You will pack MetLife. You will, all that. But once that trade happens, Aaron Rodgers will be the greatest player to ever put on a New York Jets uniform.
No,
so to me, it's just
Joe Namath like a word.
Stop.
For the Jets.
No.
Aaron Rodgers isn't as good as Joe Namath right now, in this time.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying Aaron Rodgers skill-wise, at this
What?
point in time in his career, isn't as good as Joe Namath was in his prime for the Jets.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying Aaron Rodgers right now, at his skill level right now, you put him on that team, I don't think he's as good as Joe Namath was for the Jets.
You're kidding me, right? He's 1 year removed from an MVP.
Okay, I'm saying Joe
Aaron
Namath.
Rodgers skill right.
Okay, but he doesn't instantly become it. If he wins a Super Bowl, sure.
Does.
If he wins a Super Bowl, you could say that, but he's not the best right away.
It's just like Brady going to the Bucs. Yes, he is.
Okay, but the Bucs didn't do anything. The Jets have won. The Jets have done something with their careers. The Jets have had something.
The Jets.
It was 40 years ago, but
the Jets have won 1 Super Bowl. The Bucs have won 1 Super Bowl.
The Bucs, they still
Brady
sucked.
got there.
Yeah, but none of their quarterbacks were nearly as good as Tom Brady, and Tom Brady was still decent. Aaron Rodgers,
Joe Namath.
You could see Aaron Rodgers didn't do as much this year, so you could see how he does next year. If he does really well, then sure, you could say
it's the same thing. Brady had a bad year with the Patriots before he got moved.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not instant. I'm saying it's not instant though.
Yes, it is.
I think if he proves it, sure. But
Joe Namath is not even a top 20 quarterback, ever.
Okay, but I'm saying for the Jets. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying skill wise. I'm not saying anything like that. But
you did say skill wise. You said
no.
skill wise.
I'm saying Joe Namath is arguably the best player for the Jets so far in the franchise. So Aaron Rodgers doesn't instantly become better than Joe Namath for the franchise just because he's there. He has to prove himself.
Yeah, after Aaron Rodgers plays 1 game, Aaron Rodgers practices 1 practice, he will be the best player ever.
Okay. If he does something there, sure, but he's got to prove it.
But whatever. Main point. Hold on. Main point. Jets should be head over heels for Aaron Rodgers, and they should make the move.
Yeah, and so the final news point, kind of a smaller thing really in the league, but John Lynch says that Brock Purdy, leader of the clubhouse for the 49ers. And I think it's more than anything just significant because it's the 49ers have their guy, they're going to settle down with Brock Purdy for the next however many years he's there. But I think really more than anything, they have a leader now. It's more set in stone because Jimmy G, I don't really know, he never really seemed like a huge leader on that team. It just kind of seemed like he was there. Because I know even before last season, there was kind of turmoil of, is he going to get traded? Is he going to be there still? So it's they're kind of settling down with Brock Purdy. I think they're setting he's our QB1. And I think that's really all it is. And he's supposed to be healthy for week 1. He's on track. So
yeah, I mean, you have to go with Purdy. I mean, I know you made all those moves and you traded up to get Lance, but you got to go with Purdy, Yeah. Brock Purdy played pretty good. he did
with Hammer,
right?
Yeah.
Right. He did last season. You got to roll with the hot hand. You know what I mean? You can't just give it a Lance. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's the leader of the clubhouse like he should be until he loses it, gets injured, or starts playing like crap. Then you hand it over to Trey Lance. But right now, you got to keep Brock Purdy
I
at the
mean,
helm.
it could bring up the potential of a team saying, "Hey, we liked what we saw in Trey Lance, giving him possibly a trade." But I don't see it happening for sure. But I'm saying like a team, it opens up the possibility for it.
Yeah,
for sure.
it does. And Trey Lance, right, first round pick, a couple years back. They moved up to get him. He sat a year. He played a couple of games towards the end of his rookie year, showed some flashes. Was the starting QB heading into this year. Played week 1 against the Bears. It was a rainy, cold day in Chicago. Did all right. Nothing special, right? And then he gets injured the next week. So, I mean, there's still a lot to...
You haven't seen what he's worth.
No, but you gotta still give the... You gotta give the starting spot
to Brock Purdy. Yeah.
To Purdy, yeah.
After what he did for them, like, what did they win? 8 straight games or whatever? Like, they were...
Yeah.
He's carrying it. Like, he wasn't carrying them. I mean, he has a lot of weapons and defense around him, but he's doing what he needs to do to win, so...
Yeah, and if he stays healthy the last game, and maybe the Niners in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
who knows?
So, who knows?
All right, last topic of the day. You got the Jenks and the Hammer top 8 interior defense linemen of the 2023 NFL Draft. Let's get right into it. On number 8, we got Javon Dexter from Florida. 6'6", 310 pounds. First thing that jumps off is that 6'6". It's a big man. He's an athlete. He ran a 4.8 at the combine. Very impressive for that size. So as you can tell, he's got the NFL frame. He's ready to go. He can bull rush and get by with his hands. Good closing burst when he's moving down the line in pursuit and finishes plays well. Good strength in the upper body. Thing is, he's not that explosive off the line. Plays too high, but a lot of that's just due to his size. And he fails to locate the football in the run game a lot. Double teams take him for a ride quite a bit too. He's definitely got the talent. He's got the ceiling, right? He's got the size. He's like athletic. He's fast. So he's an interesting guy, but I got him going day 3, 4th round, 7th round, in between there, something like that. Depends how defensive linemen, D linemen fall in the draft.
If
maybe
they start rolling,
up.
it could change things. But
but he's a day 3 guy to me. So at number 7, we got this guy with a crazy name, Sayaki Inca. I probably killed that. He's from Baylor. He's 6'3", 335 pounds. He's played it first 2 years at LSU before transferring to Baylor. Power.
Big boy,
when you watch this guy, he's a big boy. Explosive. He's really explosive off the line. He pushes the pocket in the QB's lap. Blows up play designs, above average athleticism for his size. The weaknesses, though, is, lacks change of direction, when tackling, especially when tackling, cutting runners. When bull rushing, he drops his head and loses sight of the ball at times. And he's just not a pass rusher, right? He doesn't.
Run stopper. That's what he is.
Yeah, he's a run stopper. He's going to push the pocket and get some, put that center in the QB's lap, but he's really just a bull rusher. Doesn't have great hands, bad motor, so his body type, and he's got the long hair too, just like Vita Vea, but Vita Vea is light years better. I got him as a late day 2, early day 3 kind of guy, and a guy who's just gonna get put in, in the short yardage, plays.
Yeah, so at number 6, we got Jacqueline Roy out of LSU. He's a bigger guy, but the thing is with him, he's not really, I wouldn't say he's proven, but he has the high potential because he's only started 1 year. He started last year at LSU, but that was his only year starting. So there's not a lot, like, you can't say for sure that he's going to be great, but he has the high upside that he can be great. So he's 6'3", 305. He has strong upper body. He 30 reps on the bench at the combine, which is good. Like, that's solid. He's a good tackler in the backfield, and he shows good effort when he's on the field. Like, he works to the plays. But the problem with him is he's such a weak lower body. Like, his lower body isn't there for what the standards are of an NFL defensive lineman. So if he could improve that, I think he could be a great defensive lineman. Like, that's really his only weakness in his game, because he gets a little bit pushed back on run blocks. He can get by pass blocks and everything like that. Like, he's a good pass rusher, but on run plays, he seems to get kind of pushed back a little bit because he hits him up high. He gets up high because he's 6'3", and then his lower body doesn't counteract that, so he's kind of just getting pushed back. So, I mean, if an NFL training coach can fix that, I think they got themselves a true good player in him. So we'll see. But I do see him as a late second day pick, maybe early third day talent. So we'll see. And then after him, at number 5, we got Mozzie Smith out of Michigan, who I think is either going to be a great D lineman or he's going to be a bust. And I'll explain why. So he's extremely strong and very athletic for his size. He's 6'3", 323. So he's a big dude. And he's also 21, so he's kind of young. But he benched for 34 reps, which was the highest from this class. And I believe it's I'm going to say top 30 ever for D linemen. So he's up there. It's great strength. So he has that availability and his size for him. So he stuffs the run gaps great, and he anchors himself to the linemen. So on run plays, he's stuffing the runs and the gaps. So if he can do that at an NFL level, I mean, that's already a great rotational guy, like a guy that you can put in on first, second down and say, hey, don't allow any runs to get by you. Like, that's what he can do. Yeah. But his problem is he's very inconsistent, and he lines up off the ball a little bit far and leans a little bit back in his stance. So, I mean, on plays where he does that, like a guy, NFL guard, NFL center is going to just crush him. Like, if you lean too far back in your stance, or if you're not lining up correctly every single play, you're going to get bullied in the league. So yeah, that's the problem with him, is he's really inconsistent. So if he can fix that, I mean, he's got the size and athleticism there to really turn it around and be a great player. But I think it's just up to coaching. So if a team picks him, I think they really just have to develop him really well, and he'll be solid for them. But it's up to what they do with the coaching, like I said. So I think I see him as an early day 2, maybe late day 2, but I think he's going to go in second round for sure. And a lot of people are actually picking him for the Saints in mock drafts, everything like that. Saints are a team for him because we need D linemen. But the only thing with that is I think we do need more of a pass rushing D lineman. We do have a few already, but I think that's what Dennis Allen's trying to look for. But I could see it as a run stopper, because we did lose a couple like David Onyemata, Shai Tuttle. We lost a couple of our run stopping D linemen, so I could see him coming to us, but it's not something that I would be extremely happy with, because I think there's better out there.
So you're saying that the technique is kind of slowing him down?
Yeah. I mean, I think he has all of the intangibles there for him. So if you can fix it with coaching, I think he'll be all right.
Okay. Number four, we got Keanu Benton from Wisconsin, 6'4", 309 pounds. Full-time starter for most of his 4 years. So, like we said previous in the QB segment, hey, that's attractive, right? When you play 4 years, you have a lot of football experience. Teams like that. Really, really good hands. Quick hands, violent hands. Has potential to play multiple spots on the defensive line. He's got the ideal size, length, and explosiveness. Good pursuit. And like I said, he's got that experience. Thing is, he struggles in double teams. Relies on his hands too much, where he's not going to bull rush you. He's not going to, put you in the QB's lap. He's not that powerful. And yeah, I mean, I think he could be a decent player. I think he's a day 2 guy, second, third round. He'll find a home, but yeah, got him at number 4. At number 3, we got Brian Breesy from Clemson, 6'5", 298 pounds. He ran a 4.86 at the combine, so he's got the athleticism. He's a little speedy. He tore his ACL in 2021, which kind of hurt him. Just as a player too, right? Teams look at that and they'll be like, is he the same player? Is that going to slow him down? It kind of slowed him down this past season a little bit. He's got a really, really interesting build. He's really broad, athletic build, great power. Comes from his lower body, helps him take on double teams pretty well, which a lot of the other guys don't do well against. Um, he's really explosive off the line. He's got a good motor, versatile along the line. I think he plays some defensive end too. Good pursuit. Thing is, like I said, the injury's going to hurt him. Needs time. He's got to be better to get better against the run. He's undersized. He's a bad tackler. There was a lot of times where he explodes off the line and gets past the lineman, but he just can't wrap up the QB or running back. I mean, yeah, he makes the play, right? Because then the QB's run around a running back, and then his, buddies rally and make the play. But not a good tackler. Needs to clean up his leverage and pad level. I think he could be a good player. I think he's a work in progress. I think teams really like the athletic ability that he has and his size and his build. If you look the guy up, he doesn't look like a D tackle. He's really interesting. I could see him I've seen him go late first round. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that good.
I think it's purely because of intangibles, like you said.
A lot of people have him as the number 2 D tackle behind big Jalen Carter. I get him at 3. I might even have him down lower. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan, but I understand that he's got a high ceiling.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I put him at 3. So he's going to be a work in progress. I've seen some people put him late first round. I don't think he's a first round pick. He's not a first round talent.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing we were talking about is there's a big drop off. After
There is.
our first 2 guys, we think there's a big drop off there, and provenness and also ability, just right off the bat for NFL teams. So
I mean, there's definitely tiers to this. D line, it's an interesting class. It's not the best. The interior D line, Jalen Carter, of course, is in the class of his own. The next guy we think is, up there. Not Jalen Carter, but
yeah,
after those 2 guys, there's a drop off to Brian Breesy, and I see him going in the second round, maybe early second round. If he did go in the late first round, Bills, Eagles, Saints, or teams. I know you don't want him to be a Saint, but
yeah, I mean,
but I don't think you have to worry because I don't think he's going late in the first.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a Saint. I'll see. I'm interested to see where he goes. I really don't have a spot where I'm oh, he's going to land there, because I don't think any team is really I don't want to say any team has their eyes set on him, because I think the 2 top defensive tackles are going to be the guys that the teams have their eyes on, and then if they don't fall to them, they're going to try to look kind of okay, this guy's available. Do we pick him? Do we not pick him? It's not something that they're set on, So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
So our number 2 guy, on paper, he does not look like a defensive tackle in any way, shape, or form. But I think he could really change the mold for defensive tackles in the league as a pass rusher, not necessarily as a run stopper. We'll get into it, but he's 6'1", 281, and he's skinnier. But Kalijah Kancey out of Pittsburgh is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the league, and a lot of people, because of of his speed and everything like that, are calling him mini Aaron Donald. And on film, you can see it on what?
No, I said, mini Aaron Donald from Pitt. He's got the speed, athleticism.
Exactly. I mean, I think he's the best pass rushing D lineman in the draft. If he can truly excel with his moves that he has, his swim moves and stuff like that, I think he can really be the best pass rusher. I think Jalen Carter should be, but I think Kalijah has the potential. I mean, I really think he has the potential to be the best. So he ran a 4.67 40, which was the second fastest 40 time since Aaron Donald, and he has insane quickness off the line. So on pass plays, when everyone's pass setting, he can swim by, he can juke out he can do any move really, and he gets by the defender or the protector. So I mean, I really think he could be great, and I'm interested to see what he does. But he was also a first-team AP All-American and ACC Defensive Player of the Year. So the coaches believe in him. throughout the like country. So, and he had 7.5 sacks this season. I think he'll be a great third down D lineman wherever he ends up. So I'm interested to see if he's able to work on his run play, like his ability to stop runs. Because his problem right now is he gets pushed around because he is smaller, like we said. Like he's 281. He's a skinnier guy. So NFL guards and centers might have their way with him. Like if he's not able to fix his lower body, step into them and keep his legs moving, he might get pushed around. So I'm interested to see what he does there. But I do see if he doesn't fix that, I think he'll be a great third down guy. Other than that, I still think he's going to be great. Team I had him landing with is going to be Chicago at the number 9 pick. Maybe Houston at number 12 if Chicago picks someone else who I'm going to cover next. But if he falls to the end of the first round,
Think he goes that high?
I think he does.
Think he goes that high? You think so?
If he doesn't, I think he's going to be a saint. But I
that's
hope,
the thing.
I hope he falls.
If you're saying 9 and 12, he's not going to go all the way to the end of the first then. I mean, they're going to have to move up if they want him.
Yeah, no. So I think he's going to go 9 or 12. And then if he falls to like 20s, maybe like 24, 23, something like that, I think they could try to trade up for him. Because the Saints do love trading up for their defensive linemen. Like this, we love it. Like we traded two first rounds for Marcus Davenport, who was a bum.
Traded with us.
Yeah. So we'll see. You know, I mean,
and then the Packers 4 picks later got Jair Alexander, steal the draft. And you guys got
so
Davenport.
all around, you know, Saints love trading up for defensive linemen, but I'd be happy if we trade up for Kalijah Kancey. I think he'd be great for our defensive line, and it's what we need. So
doesn't always work out for those Saints, but they'll trade up.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Nah, it's the truth. Like they have problems sometimes trading up. So
yeah, he's going to be a good player though. So it's going to be interesting to see where he falls.
Yeah, and then at number 1, we have the blue chip defensive lineman in this year's draft, Jalen Carter. He's without a doubt the best prospect at D-line, intangible wise, and on film. Like he's 6'3", 314. He's 21 years old. He's strong off the ball, can overpower smaller linemen, and anchor himself on run plays. Like it's just what he does. He does everything well. So he's the most pro-ready defensive lineman on paper versus like Kalijah Kancey and all the other guys we have. But I think the numbers on his stats and everything like that don't show what he's truly like able to do, because he only had 3 sacks, and I think he can be a lot more impactful on an NFL D-line, having better edges and having better coach to actually call plays that he'll be able to excel on. So I'm interested to see what he's able to do, because I really do truly think he's going to be amazing wherever he goes. So some of the weaknesses that he has though are going to be his maturity. NFL scouts are a little bit concerned over his maturity right now, because for those who don't know, he was arrested at the beginning of March for a reckless driving incident.
It was like a day or two before the combine.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big deal in the league because this is the number top 5 pick.
He's number 1. He's the best player of the draft.
Yeah,
my opinion. Yeah,
him or Will Anderson. That's who I'm seeing are the 2 best defensive linemen. So. Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing. So after that all happened, he pleaded no contest and he got 12 months probation. So the team's gonna have to realize, okay, he did something wrong. Like, do you want to deal with the problems that are gonna come from it? And also at his pro day, I think it was a couple of days ago, a week ago, something like that, he was 9 pounds heavier than he was at the combine. 9 pounds within a couple weeks. So, and he wasn't even able to finish some of his drills. Like he was so out of shape. And he looked tired. Like you could see on video, he looked tired. He was swinging his arms all over the place. His legs weren't moving correctly. So, if that continues, that could be dangerous as a team's top 5 pick. Having a guy that might get out of shape or something like that right before he comes into the league is dangerous. So I think teams are aware of it. It could cause him to slip. I don't see it causing him to slip, but it could happen. We'll see. I have him going to falling to Chicago. I don't think Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll at Seattle, possible, but I don't think Pete Carroll wants to deal with his crap. So we'll see. Yeah,
and you said that he put on 9 pounds the pro day. It was 2-3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I want to. It was like a week, maybe a week and a half ago, but it was two or 3 weeks after the combine. So it was like that 9 pounds was gained within that small amount of time, and he seemed out of shape.
We all know why. We all know why, though.
Why?
Because that Shamrock Shake came out of McDonald's.
Okay. Shamrock Shake. Yeah, I mean, he's having a bunch, so he's gaining that much. But
you never know.
You can't do that. Going out to the pro day where all the teams are watching you and you show up out of shape and you can't even finish your drills.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, especially when you're supposed to be the top guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're the number one guy. Prove it to these teams, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, I don't think he goes to Arizona at 3. I don't know. I think they go Will Anderson.
Yeah, that's what they need.
Seattle's a possibility. Seattle at 5, Chicago at 9. I mean, it depends. Do they want to get a tackle for Fields, or do they want to fix that D-line? Because that D-line's terrible. If he falls out of the top 10, does he go 12 to Houston?
I just don't. I don't see him falling out of the top 10. But yeah, if he falls out of the top 10, I think he'll go to Houston for sure.
Maybe number 10 to Philly after losing Hargrave. It's interesting.
No, they still have Jordan Davis though. So
yeah, but
they could pair him up with his old teammate Jordan Davis, but who knows? We'll see.
Scary combo. Yeah, gonna be interesting. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we're gonna see you guys Friday morning because we're gonna film Thursday night. Our next episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at JanksHammerPod, and you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Janks and the Hammer Podcast. YouTube now is Janks and the Hammer. If you watch it on YouTube, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts if you agree, disagree. And we'll see you guys in a couple days.
Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in to the Janks and the Hammer Podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Janks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!